I'm with y'all.
But Lee, you watched the actual video, right?
Yeah, I watched the video. It's very convincing. I don't know.
He does love his horses. He's talked about his horses before.
Yes.
This isn't like an AI thing. What you found might be, but he does love his horses.
No, he does love his
But
horses.
he give his
he's
his
giving him the
MVP
trophy.
award to play with.
He's giving him the MVP trophy to play with. By the way, I don't know how somebody needs to get this under control, but somebody's got to get this under control because the deep fakes and the AIs have run way out of bounds. And I feel like they're going to get us in a really, really difficult time or in a difficult spot, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like, there's got to be a way that we can figure out or at least detect that this is a bunch of crap because there's probably a lot of people who ran with this thinking, oh my God, listen to this guy. I mean, he basically taking shots at other players crying for the award. Meanwhile, he's throwing it in the barn and letting the horses chew on it while they're getting ready for their next race. Like, somebody's got to do something about this deep fake.
It's definitely AI. Play it one more time. Can we play it one more time? Did we lose it? My bad.
I'm grateful to get another MVP, but for me, it's just basketball. I don't know why other players cry when they get this trophy. What I do is I end up giving it to my horses to play with. That brings joy in my heart.
This is on the Nuggets official page.
Really?
It's on their.
So why do you think it's a deep fake then?
It's too good to be true.
Huh.
I feel like it would have gotten more run if it was real.
You think?
Yeah.
Maybe that just tells you how important basketball is to people.
And social media came up under it saying,
Oh,
dang.
What if you could build a six-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement creating a six-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Brett Kitchen, best-selling author, executive producer, and star in a brand new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception. In this film, we traveled over 20,000 miles interviewing real Americans who've retired successfully with a great lifestyle and peace of mind. They share their stories on how they get more retirement income with the same dollars saved, and the money's never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even the super wealthy are shifting money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money saved, call to talk to a specialist and get a free copy of this brand new movie at 1-800-506-2020. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you can get it completely free. I'll even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call right now, 1-800-506-2020. That's 1-800-506-2020. Again, that's 1-800-506-2020.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
In 1848, James Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill. And in 3 years, a multicultural migration grew a sleepy trading post of 800 to a city of over 250,000. These were the first dreamers, innovators, builders, and inventors that defined San Francisco. The San Francisco Historical Society exists to uncover, preserve, and present in engaging ways the colorful and diverse history of our city from its earliest days to the present. As a member, you'll receive The Argonaut, an award-winning publication that has provided in-depth historical accounts for over 30 years. And The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Hold on, Joe.
We're so back. It's a pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. You got me for the next hour. And I've been told we're not supposed to say the show because it's already implied when we have the opener or the rejoin. But kind of like Steiny does, there's something about just saying the name of your show with your name attached. Now, my name's not attached to the open, so that's why I feel the need to say it. But I appreciate all of you joining me here this lovely morning here in the Bay Area, Thursday morning. The NFL schedule has been released. And it's not quite the same as, some other key dates. It's not the same as NFL free agency starting. It's not the same as, a training camp starting. It's different. For me, as I've gotten older, it's lost a little bit of the luster. And if you're a 49ers fan and you're waking up this morning, what's the first thing you're looking at in this schedule? That's what I want to know. What's the first thing you are looking at when the NFL schedule gets released? Is it your travel plans? Are you looking to go to Minnesota? Are you looking to go to divisional games like Seattle, Arizona, Los Angeles? Are you looking at tough road trips? Are you looking at, the bye week? Are you trying to time your bye week with the 49ers bye week so you know what? You're all locked and loaded for the second half of the season. What is it that you're looking for? Is it the primetime games? Niners got a bunch of those. Their very first game, primetime. Jets, Niners, September 9th, 5:15, Levi's Stadium. Aaron Rodgers coming to town. Robert Saleh coming back. You got Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan trying to get back to the mountaintop after climbing all the way there last year, slipping on their ass and falling down Mount Kilimanjaro. It's tough to climb all the way back. Kyle's had to do it twice now. Can he get back there a third time and get the job done? Well, that's going to be the entire conversation this offseason and next season, whether Kyle Shanahan can finally get that ring. Can Brock Purdy duplicate what he did last season, an MVP caliber season? Guy was the MVP frontrunner, according to Vegas, heading into that Christmas night showdown against the Baltimore Ravens, in which the actual MVP, Lamar Jackson, put on a show. Brock, not so much. But can he build off that? It was still an incredible season for Mr. Irrelevant. Incredible. So there's so many storylines to get into here in regards to the NFL schedule. And 888-957-9570, that's the number to get involved. I want to hear from the people, because this show is by the people, for the people. Is that like the Constitution or something like that? I'm not a historian. I'm not a philosophizer. By the way, last time I've talked to you guys, we got a name for a WNBA team here in the Bay. Now, I've talked to you on the morning roast, but not the pregame show. My pre-gamers, special place in my heart. The Golden State Valkyries. All right. I'm not mad at that. I like the color scheme. I've always been a fan of the purple and black, whether that's Baltimore Ravens, whether that's TCU, Texas Christian University, whether that's, you know what, the Colorado Rockies. I like their uniforms. I do. So we got the Golden State Valkyries. We got the Giants getting a win, salvaging that series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Logan Webb, just incredible. He was incredible against the Dodgers in their playoff series a couple years ago. He's a big game guy. We know that about Logan Webb, and he was dominant yesterday against a dominant lineup. So the Giants salvaged that series. They, I'll calm down, take a deep breath, in a huge series coming up against the Colorado Rockies, who are, again, red hot. So you have them to worry about. 7 in a row now for the Rockies as they complete the sweep. And they're going to look good, as I just mentioned. I love their uniforms. And then you're going on the road to Pittsburgh, taking on Paul Skeens, the number 1 overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft last season by way of Louisiana State University. That mustache, it's incredible. It's real. So possibly see him on the road trip as well. But one more homestand here, taking care of the Colorado Rockies. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570, and on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We are streaming there all day long, and it's all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. All right. So just looking at this NFL schedule, because that's going to dominate the conversation today. And again, what are you looking for in this NFL schedule here? 888-957-9570. Also, be sure to download that Odyssey app. It is free, and you can take it wherever you want to go. So my initial thought, looking at this San Francisco 49ers 2024 schedule, those first 3 games, sneaky tough. When I say sneaky, I think a lot of Niner fans, and maybe not all of them, I like to think there's a lot of realists in 49er land. You're not going to go, 13-4, 14-3, 15-2. Like, it's coming off a Super Bowl. They might be able to do that. They might. But I think a lot of fans think that you have a mini Super Bowl hangover, right? So you did get all the way up there. You might take a little bit of a step back. You got a new defensive coordinator, Nick Sorensen. No Dre Greenlaw. We'll see if a rookie steps up into that position, fills the void. What's it going to look like? He signed a lot of free agents to help that defensive line. You got Gross Matos. You got Leonard Floyd. How's it going to look? And I'm always of the mindset a team's going to take a step back. You looked at both of the teams prior to this past season that got to the Super Bowl, the Eagles and the Chiefs. They did not have great regular seasons. They were huffing and puffing. The Eagles got bounced by Baker Mayfield in round 1, and it was just a collapse of a season after the Niners tapped that ass at Lincoln Financial Field. Then you look at the Chiefs, who are hobbling all year long, basically. They got beat by the Raiders on Christmas Day. Aiden O'Connell didn't complete a pass outside of the first quarter. And Taylor Swift was consoling Brittany Mahomes And we were all laughing at them on Christmas. Laughing. Well, no one's laughing anymore because they didn't lose from that point on and they won the Super Bowl. But it wasn't like they dominated their way. There was a lot of grinded out games. They were a defensive-driven team when they have the greatest offensive player in the game. Think about that. The Chiefs last year were a defensive team having the greatest offensive player and weapon in the game. And I love Christian McCaffrey. I love Tyreek Hill. There's only one Patrick Mahomes. And he was kind of vulnerable last year. So I look at that same thing heading into this season. Can the Chiefs do it again? Can they three-peat? Can they really do that? That is so much wear and tear. That is, if they do that, I mean, I might put Patrick Mahomes greatest of all time. Like if they three-peat in the NFL, one thing to do in the NBA, we've seen it for multiple dynasties, right? The Bulls did it. The Lakers have done it. You know, the Celtics, like we've seen it. In the NFL, 3 in a row. You haven't seen that. Super Bowls. NFL championships are Super Bowls. That would be incredible. And I might just put him over Brady just for doing that, which sounds insane. And I'm a Brady guy. I am. I love the roast, by the way. And by the way, do you see Tom Brady and Mark Davis handing out their championship rings to the Las Vegas Aces, both owners of the team? It's just still so weird to see Tom Brady standing next to Mark Davis and they're all buddy-buddy. I just on the scale of just looking at a person, they cannot be further apart when it comes to the look scale. And listen, I'm no Tom Brady. I'm no Brad Pitt. Listen, the nose is real and it's spectacular if you're watching on Twitch and YouTube. It's just the bull cut for me, man. And I saw someone say this. I don't know who did, but someone made the astute point that Tom Brady's hairline has seemed to have gotten lower as he's gotten old. How is that possible? Well, with bajillion dollars, anything is possible, kids. You too can be Tom Brady or Mark Davis. From the Xfinity mobile text line. Yep, Sacramento Kings, purple and black. Thank you. 925. How did I sleep on that? Great uniforms. Love the Kings uniforms. Valkyries, Golden State Valkyries, purple and black. Not mad at it. 719. As a recovering Rockies fan, Giants fans need to take a deep breath. This isn't painful or terrible. At least you're not out of it before the season starts. No, they're not done. They're not over. The season's not over. But it's tough to swallow when your division rival and the team you hate the most is just so much better than you. It just always is. And it's just always highlighted in a given game, if it's in the NFL or a series or, in the NBA, if it's just the Warriors were that for a lot of teams for a long time. And now the Warriors are the ones looking up like, man, Minnesota and OKC kind of, are they taking a leap above us? Like it's sobering. It's sobering for Giants fans right now. And I get it. So calm the mentals. You got to win yesterday. Hopefully that relaxes everyone heading up into this huge series again against the Colorado Rockies. It's not the same name, but you know what? It's that much more pressure. And by the way, Luis Matos, I never doubted you. People were crushing you for your center field errors, not taking the right, jumps, the cuts right. Like, come on. It's beautiful yesterday. And by the way, we were getting into it on the chat a little bit on the Steiny and Guru show. Yes, I'm in multiple show chats because I work on multiple shows. There's only one pregame show chat. It's me and Sam Lubman, and it's me sending the Zoom link every morning. That's it. But we were talking about that fan. I don't know if you guys saw the foul ball. I think it was James Outman, whoever it was yesterday. It was a foul ball right field, Oracle Park, and the ball landed right in this woman's picnic basket type thing. It was like this big lunchbox, and she was eating whatever she was eating. But the guy who was sitting behind her reached in there and pulled the ball out. Now, if the ball lands in there, is that automatically in her possession? She was distracted. She was eating. She wasn't eating. The guy was locked into that ball. See, I think I might be on the guy's side here. He reached in there and took it. But if I was asked to like a lawyer or something like this, once the ball enters the stands and it enters her bag box, if you will, her lunch box, does that automatically go into her possession? If there's a lawyer listening, 888-957-9570. Would love to know that. Foul ball. As far as the etiquette goes, and I was talking about this earlier in the week with Joe Shasky when I was filling on the morning roast. By the way, Bonte Hill's back today. He's back, but he's better than ever. He might be angry at me as my final thoughts yesterday on the morning roast when I said Nikola Jokic cannot be your face of the NBA. Yeah, it's bad. Can't happen. By the way, Dallas Mavericks up 3-2. Luka Doncic doing what he does. It's just incredible. I did find it funny, though, like before the game. The guy just had a laundry list of injuries. Just sore Achilles, sore back, sore knee, sore everything. I was like, we know. Everyone's sore here. Luka's not special. We get it. And we love Luka. And he is special when it comes to offensive greatness and talent. No one's denying that. But when it comes to wear and tear of a season, it's just like every other player. They're hurting. You know who's not hurting? It's my guy Burnsy out in Fremont. He wants to join in on the schedule, the NFL schedule. The 49ers 2024 schedule is what we're talking about this morning. 888-957-9570. What's the first thing you're looking for in this schedule? For me, it was those first 3 games right off the bat. At home against the Jets, that's not going to be easy. Aaron Rodgers is back. That defense was for real last year. The offense was just putrid because he had Zach Wilson and a handful of other people. Then you got the Vikings at Minnesota. Is it going to be a Sam Darnold revenge game? Is it going to be J.J. McCarthy? And then at the Rams after that. That's always tough. Sean McVay, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford. They're champs still. For a reason. Burnsy, Fremont, your thoughts on the schedule, buddy. How you doing?
Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, my friend. It's a great, I love sports when the NFL just takes over, right? We could be in the middle of a baseball playoff, NBA playoffs, but hey, the schedules got released. We are in.
Brother, we just need an excuse to talk football, and we will do it as a country.
We will do it. Honestly, the first thing I start looking at is the primetime games, and not just my team's primetime. I want to know, do I have more primetime games than the Cowboys or the Steelers, right? Because for some reason, the Cowboys and the Steelers are always on primetime. So I like to start with that, just to compare, how we are with that. Other than that, I'm starting to look at the schedule. Definitely, it's going to be one of those iron sharpens iron kind of schedules. The AFC East with the Dolphins, the Bills, we got the Packers and the Chiefs. It's going to be, not to mention that the division has gotten better, right? I cannot wait to see Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that dude is a stud. I think the Cardinals are going to be better. The Rams are probably about, whenever the Niners play the Rams, that's always a good game. So it's going to be a very competitive schedule. It's NFL. I am super, super stoked for it, man. It's looking good. But that's pretty much the thing I look at first. I want those primetime games. I want my team to have more primetime games than anybody else. But I have to question one thing, man. I know the Valkyrie are just starting up, but man, honestly, rat on the table. Have you ever watched a WNBA game from start to finish? From start to finish and stuff.
Honestly, Burnsy, the first time I did, I have 2 kids, so I can't really watch any game, every single thing. I can't even do that with the Warriors game now. I just get interrupted constantly. But I watched the Caitlin Clark debut. I did watch that. Yeah. And I think I joined a lot of America that did the same.
But also Caitlin Clark is the great white hope, right? That girl is That girl is, for every white basketball player that could never play hoops, she is it.
But she's polarizing, Burns, right? She's polarizing. People tune in for her.
Kate is good, but I can't get into it, brother. I just can't. And what makes me laugh a little is that, around the nation, every morning we're getting the updates of the WNBA, and I'm good for that. But honestly, man, are you at the grocery store and you look at your watch and, oh my God, I got to get home to turn into that WNBA game, rush back and barbecue and make nachos and all that stuff. Not quite there with that, but, hopefully, one day. Let's say if I got some free tickets, I might go for the first half to check out the stadium, and
there you
in
go.
San Francisco.
Right? And I think that's what it is. That's what it's about. And I appreciate your call, Burns. And that's Burns in Fremont, 888-957-9570. Great call this morning on the pregame show. Love the energy. Again, the pregamers, and I know Burns calls other shows, but come on. He's a pregamer if he's calling at 5:18 a.m. To his point, real quick, and we'll get to this NFL schedule, but the WNBA, they do have an opportunity, especially here in the Bay Area. Again, only one Warriors team. It unites the Bay. This can be the same with the WNBA, and I do believe they have a great opportunity to build something special there within this great Bay Area fan base. I do. I don't know if it works for teams like the Connecticut Sun. I don't like UConn. That's like Connecticut over there, right? Like that's their major sports brand is UConn. If it can work in Connecticut, and even if it is working, I don't even know. If it works in Indiana, it's damn sure going to work in the Bay Area. Damn sure. Now, to Burns' point, you're not watching it because you didn't grow up with it. We all grew up with the NBA, NFL, hell, if you're a hockey fan, the NHL, Major League Baseball. You grew up with all those things. So it's hard, just like it's hard for us to get into soccer. I mean, unless you were an MLS from day one diehard, it's very hard still. It wasn't ingrained in your DNA unless you played in kindergarten and you were on like the blue team, It wasn't ingrained in your DNA from your parents at a young age. At least for me, it wasn't. Hell, what? It just wasn't. So, to Burns' point, he doesn't go out and, he's not looking at scores and checking. He's not emotionally invested. First of all, he doesn't have a team, and it helps to do that. We don't have a team in Bay Area. Now we do. Maybe I will be invested now. Valkyries are my team now, baby. I'm all in. This is my team. It's my squad. I have a young girl. I want to take her there. I have a son. He'll be interested. Yeah. We'll be going to those games. We'll have a great time. I'll be going to Caitlin Clark's going to play over there. Hell yeah, I want to go see. Right? So you're not a big fan and you're not tapped in because you didn't grow up with it. That's how I view it. Now there's layers in it. There's the players identifying within the brand of basketball. That's all secondary to me. I do know that there's people at this station that are massive Premier League soccer fans. Not MLS. No. Not domestic leagues. Like Premier League teams. We have a couple Arsenal fans. We got a Chelsea fan, Stephen Langford in the building. I'm sure we have Liverpool fans. We have everyone. Tottenham. They didn't grow up with that. How'd they get into it, though? The last couple of years, they've seen it on social. They saw it's so damn popular. They probably played FIFA. Stuff like that. And that's how you get into it. And that's how you build the brand. Social, and you get names. And Caitlin Clark, I think she's going to be great for the brand because she's another person that you can market. And that's it. And if everyone wants to beat her up, if the rest of the WA players are mad at her because she's getting all this limelight, getting all this praise, getting all these contracts, getting all these deals, and she hasn't been there doing the blood, sweat, and tears like Asia Wilson and some of these other players, that's fine. But she's putting money in their pockets. She's helping them out. And I don't think Caitlin Clark expects them to feel sorry for her or go easy on her. No, she's a competitor. The 49ers are also competitors, and we're talking 2024 NFL schedule release. And Burns, what he said, he looks for primetime games. That's what he looks for. 49ers have 6 of them. And they're tied with the Cowboys and tied with, not the Steelers, not the Chiefs. This was interesting to me. The New York Jets. 6. So 3 teams have 6 primetime games. So they're looking at, obviously, standalone game. Anything that's a standalone game is a primetime game. So 49ers have 6 of those. Which is kind of crazy that the Chiefs, they're only listing it as 5. I'm trying to count this here. So they have, okay, are they not counting like the Black Friday one? Or the Saturday game? Because I'm looking at the Chiefs schedule right now. They have 10 games on Sunday. All right. And some of those include Sunday Night Football. They have 2 games on Monday, so those are 2 Monday Night Football ones. They have a game on Wednesday. That's going to be Christmas. So just going off those Monday and Wednesday, that's 33 right there. They have a Thursday game. It's prime time. It's 4. Game on Friday. It's the Black Friday against the Raiders. 5. And they have a game on Saturday. That's already 6. So someone's messing up here. Unless they're counting primetime games differently. And if that's the case, let me know. 888-957. Are they not counting primetime because Netflix? Is that not primetime? I don't know. Maybe that's different. But I'm just looking at the Chiefs right now. Right off the bat, Thursday, first game opening up the season. You got the Baltimore. That's a primetime game, right? You got the Atlanta Falcons. That's an NBC game. It's 2. Then you got ESPN, the Saints. Oh, Derek Carr and co. This will be fun. I think Derek Carr's beat them once in his whole career. Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs, that is. So that's 3 already within the first 5 weeks. And then you go all the way to Monday, November 4th, 4 against Tampa Bay. So that's going to be a Monday nighter. Yeah, they got like 7. What are we doing here? It's unbelievable. I'm counting those as all primetime games. And Chiefs should. Chiefs should be on primetime every week. Because you know why? Again, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Taylor Swift, they're just box office. They are. And I'm all in on the T Swift thing, by the way. She's become so hated by NFL fans that I now love her. I love it now. Was it the Tortured Poets Club Society? Whatever.
Tortured Poets Department.
Okay, yeah. I was like, is that a play off the Dead Poets Society? I was telling the missus, and she's like, no, I don't even know what that is. I was like, okay, well, I'll just go F myself. I think that's what.
Why would you even ask that? Come on, Spadoni.
Isn't that what you thought of immediately? Or the tortured? You thought of Dead Poets Society. That's what I thought.
No, that didn't come to my mind too.
Yeah, come on. Great movie, by the way.
We're not that deep into the Swiftie universe yet.
We're not, no, and I don't want the
Swifties. That's what Jade's for. She's there to educate us.
Hey, Swifties, if you're listening right now, hey, I'm all in. And retweet the link on Twitter @Spadoni_Joe. Thank you. Rest of the primetime games, by the way. So the 49ers, Jets, and Cowboys are listed at 6. We just went through the Chiefs. They're listed at 5, but as I just mentioned, they got like 8 or 7 or 8. Like, they got a bunch. They're in a different tier. But then you got the Ravens, Bills, Bengals, Rams, Lions, Eagles, Packers, Dolphins, all either have major brands or an elite quarterback there. Makes sense. 5. Then you go to the next tier, 4 primetime games. You got the Browns, you got the Seahawks, you got the Texans, Steelers, big brand, obviously, Bucks, playoff team last year. You got the Falcons, Penix, Kirk Cousins, stuff like that. Browns is interesting to me. I don't know how I'm feeling about the Browns and Deshaun Watson this season. There's a chance they're just not good. And Deshaun Watson specifically is not good. They have a lot of talent there. I mean, they signed Jerry Jeudy to that contract. They traded for him and then signed him to that extension. I don't know why. And they got 2 Alabama first-round picks now, wide receiver. Amari Cooper, who was a baller last year. By the way, sneakily, Amari Cooper's not even 30 yet. This keeps blowing my mind. Hasn't he been in the league for like a decade? I mean, when the Raiders drafted him, was he like 20? Must have been. It's crazy. But I'm kind of down on the Browns right now. Seahawks, what's going to be with Geno Smith and co? We'll see. The power of C.J. Stroud, though, after 1 year, the Houston Texans with 4. They're going to be must-see. They are. And then that next tier, you got 3 primetime games. You got the Giants, obviously. Big, just the New York Giants. I think they're going to be a dumpster fire, but it'll be a dumpster fire all of us get to watch, I guess. The Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. Need I say less? Or more? Whatever. Like, come on. It's Caleb. I can't say less. Just Caleb. You know who that is. The Chargers, and then the Saints. All right, it's fine. Saints are going to be one of those teams, again, that probably have the ability to beat anyone, but can lose to anyone. That's how I view them. And that was kind of like the Derek Carr era with the Raiders. They had the ability at times to beat anyone, but they could lose to the worst team in the league. I'm interested in what Harbaugh and Justin Herbert look like this year. I think they deserve 3 primetime games. Then you get to 2, Broncos and rookie quarterback. You're going to start seeing a lot of rookie quarterbacks here in this one. Or teams without a quarterback. So you got the Broncos, Vikings, Commanders, Raiders, Jaguars, all 2 primetime games this year. One of the Raiders' primetime games is like week 16, 5th, whatever, like late in the year. It's against the Falcons. Like, talk about random. That one. That's going to be one of those. I'm looking at that right now. That has flex written all over it. And this is coming from a Raider fan. Unless it's Michael Penix versus Aiden O'Connell, baby. As much as I love me some AOC. He's not doing numbers. It wasn't like last year where the Raiders had like 5 primetime games. But at least you had Jimmy Garoppolo. You can market Jimmy. It's like, oh, just put his graphic up. You sure? He's been playing like ass all year. I don't care. Look at that jawline. Look at that smile. He's doing numbers. My wife's going to tune in. Well, he's gone. He's a backup in Los Angeles now. Now you got Aiden O'Connell. That face. God love him, Aiden. That mustache again. It's not great. But maybe you can just look at it and be like, that's intriguing to me. Gardner Minshew, though, is he going to be the starter? He could be. That is a glorious mustache and hair. So maybe there is something to that. Enough mustache talk. I'm sorry. Oh, we're up against it. Oh, my goodness. We've blown through it. I've just been talking NFL nonstop. We'll wrap up the primetime games with all the teams having. There's one team that doesn't have any. I don't think it's a surprise. 888-957-9570. More scheduled talk, more Niner talk on the other side.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Giants 4, Dodgers 1. Giants salvage that series. Logan Webb. He's great. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, but 5 Ks. Handled his business. Eric Miller fired up, striking out Shohei Ohtani. My goodness. And then Camilo Doval, 102, right down the pipe. Yeah, good luck. Bay Area closers, man. They got some gas. Doval and Miller. God. Like, how are you even supposed to swing at those things? Especially when it's like high and tight and you're still swinging at it because you just have to guess. Oh, it's just brutal. We don't have to guess anymore, though, about the NFL schedule and all those fake leaks that come out and people just try to aggregate and just like, oh, is this that? No. Just wait. It's like Christmas. Can you just... No, we're not opening presents early. You maybe one on Christmas Eve, but we're not doing it like a week before. No. Just wait for your damn schedule. We got it. Patience pays off. We got it. Niners, 6 primetime games. Tied for the most. Got the Jets. You got the Cowboys up there. Got the Chiefs up there. Again, Dallas, their brand. Do I want to see them 6 times standalone games? No. But we're going to because it's Dallas. And because it's Jerry Jones, it's Dak Prescott, he's the star. Jets, we get it. Again, New York. It's a brand. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we can't get enough Aaron Rodgers. And you ask me, I think we can. I think we did. And then the Niners, they were just in the Super Bowl. That makes sense. Chiefs, that makes sense. Couple teams with just 1. And we already did the list of the teams of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you missed that, go back on the Odyssey app. Find it there. Rewind feature is awesome. Search 95.7 The Game on your app store or Odyssey, I should say, then favorite 95.7 The Game. It's free. It's easy. It's simple. You can also find us on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We are streaming all day long. Just search 95.7 The Game on any of those platforms. So the teams with 1 primetime game. Cardinals, Colts, Pats, Titans. Makes sense. Colts, we'll see with Anthony Richardson this year. Colts are always one of those teams, kind of like the Jeff Fisher Rams. Like back when it was, the joke about Jeff Fisher, former head coach of the Rams for a long time, Titans head coach. 7-9. They call Jeff Fisher 7-9 because all of his teams just hover around there. That's kind of how I feel about the Colts. They're going 8-9. They got Shane Steichen as their head coach now, who had a pretty good first year. They were on the cusp of making the playoffs. Gardner Minshew makes one more throw or whatever that receiver, running back, makes a catch. Like, it's tough. But Anthony Richardson, to be interesting. Can he stay upright? Can he stay healthy? Guy's got incredible skill sets physically. Can he build off that? And then you got the Patriots, Drake May. They're going to be bad, we would all assume, this year. And then the Titans, Will Levis, we'll see. I mean, no Derrick Henry there anymore. You got him in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. So, there you go. But one team with 0 primetime games. And who play in Europe, though? We will be locked into this one. We'll be in Germany against the New York Giants. The Carolina Panthers. Oh, 0 primetime. Don't laugh, Java. Come on. I actually am slightly optimistic about Bryce Young this season. I don't know why. I just don't think they're going to be as awful as they were last year. Can they be? Like, they were putrid bad. Like, struggling to score double-digit points bad at times. I think they'll be maybe 4 or 5 wins. And they actually have a first-round pick next year. So if you lose and you're horrible, at least it doesn't bite you. Last year, that was going to the Bears. And they got Caleb Williams because of you. So there you go. As far as the Niners go, again, what is the first thing you're looking for with this Niners schedule? Is it the primetime games like Burns and Fremont? I just listed them off. Niners got 6 of them. Is it the road games? Is it the road stretches that you're worried about? Again, they got an early one. Now, it's not a back-to-back East Coaster. And I'm looking at it right now and seeing if they have any of those. And they do. And this is a tough little stretch here. I'm not going to lie. November 12th, check that. Week 12, November 24th, at the Packers in Green Bay. It's going to be chilly around Thanksgiving. You got the Bills after that, December 1st, in Buffalo. That's Sunday Night Football. That's going to be cold. And then you're back at home December 8th, taking on the Bears. And I think the Bears are going to be pretty good this year. So I'm looking at that 3-game stretch. Oh, and by the way, you got the Rams, you got the Dolphins, you got the Lions after that. That is a gauntlet to end the season. For everyone saying this is an easy schedule, it's never easy. And I always hammer this down, and I was talking about it with Joe Shasky yesterday when I was filling on the morning roast. By the way, Bonte Hill is back today, back and better than ever. Bonte, Shasky, 20 minutes. They will be reacting all day long to this schedule. 888-957-9570. The teams that you think are going to be bad, there's some of them that are going to be really good. We thought the Texans were going to be bad last year. They were a playoff team, and they were a half away potentially from going to the conference championship. Teams that you thought might be good, right? I don't know. Last year, the Jets, what happened the first 4 plays? Gone. Kaput. Their season's over. Why? Because their quarterback got hurt. And the morning of the first game in the NFL last year, what was that? Lions, Chiefs? That was a great game, by the way. Dan Campbell going for it early. That set the tone for the entire season. Took the Lions all the way to the NFC freaking championship, knocking on the Super Bowl's doorsteps. But I was looking at the schedule last year, and no one was taking the Jets after week 1 because of the quarterback. I took the Niners and Jets as my Super Bowl pick on that morning. And boy, did I feel foolish. Now I'll do it again because this is the business. We're all going to get egg on our face. You have to make predictions. You have to have a take. That's what we do. We have to have a take. So am I going to give my record right now? No. I always wait to do that the morning of that Thursday. The first voice you hear every morning, Monday through Friday, 888-957-9570. And I will provide my record then. Because there's going to be injuries in training camp. There's going to be certain things happening. There's going to be disgruntled stars. And that's when I'll feel more comfortable getting a pulse on all these teams heading in. There's going to be injuries during preseason. Now, people aren't playing a lot of preseason, a lot of their starters, stuff like that. And by the way, we do know our preseasons, if that tickles your fancy. If you want an excuse to go to Las Vegas, we don't know the date yet, but it's probably going to be around August 25th, I would assume. Going to Vegas, playing the Raiders again. Excuse to go down there. I don't think the tickets are going to be cheap because it's Vegas, but if you want an excuse, we'll wet your whistle a little bit, a little carefree football. I always like summer league, preseason stuff. I always take my little kids to those ones. It's fun. Get a little pulse, right? I take young Benny to the California Classic, whether it's at Golden One Arena out in Sacramento, whether it's at Chase Center. And by the way, they're doing like a conjoined one this year. It's going to be pretty cool. So they're doing both Chase Center and Golden One for the Cali Classic, which will be pretty awesome. But carefree games, if that tickles your fancy. So you got at the Titans preseason, then you're home against the Saints, and then you're at the Raiders. So there is a Vegas schedule in there. Preseason, though. Pregame. But I'm looking at that stretch. To start the season, Jets, Vikings, Rams will not be easy. I think the Vikings were all chalking that one up early to a W. I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to look like. Is he even going to start? Is it going to be Sam Darnold? I know the Vikings won last year, and I know they still have Addison. I know they still have Justin Jefferson. And I know they got T.J. Hawkinson. That is dynamic still. Defense, I'm going to talk about that. But offensively, they can still cause some problems. And for the Niners, defensively, that is what I'm circling. That's the biggest question mark right now for me. 888-957-9570 is the number. More of your scheduled thoughts. What sticks out to you? We'll get to your calls. We'll get to your texts. All coming up next on the pregame show, 95.7 The Game.
It's Jeep 4x4 season, which means exciting adventures, lasting memories, and finding out what true freedom feels like with great deals on your favorite Jeep brand vehicles. The Grand Cherokee is the most awarded SUV ever, providing adventurers with luxury and comfort on the go, while the trail-rated Wrangler 4x4 will have you taking on the toughest terrains without hesitation. Feel the spark with the innovative 2024 Jeep 4xE lineup. Adventure is just one drive away during Jeep 4x4 season.
95.7 The Game.
Thanks, Tim. Tim Roy, voice of your Golden State Warriors, who have been out of action and out of commission for a little bit. Steph Curry, though, back soon on your television. Summer Olympics coming up. He's going to be on the team. Team USA. I'm excited to watch that this summer. It's been fun. NBA playoffs have been fun. The Celtics advance, as we all thought. Celtics are going to the finals. Celtics, again, we're all just waiting for them to fail because I think that's just the expectation that they're going to choke. I think they're going to win it all this year. I do. I saw Udonis Haslem, I think it was on ESPN, the NBA pregame show, whatever it was. And he was talking about, he doesn't think that the Celtics are going to be tested until they get to the finals, potentially. He doesn't view the Knicks as a challenge or the Pacers as a challenge to them. Now, I think the Knicks would be. I think what Jalen Brunson's doing should have any team facing him nervous. Guy's been unbelievable. How many 40 points? He's like 5 40-point games in these playoffs. It's been unreal. On a bum foot. Tibbs has these guys playing hard. And shout out Ken, Board Op Ken yesterday, filling on the Morning Roast, doing a hell of a job, sticking up for his guy. I agree. Physicality. Something that's missing here. I know they like to say there's been more physicality, but the team that has been the most physical all season long, that's been winning all season long, is the Knicks. It's true. So, Celtics awaiting the winner of that series. Dallas looks poised to finish off the Thunder, who have just been putrid from beyond the arc. Potentially a Dallas versus Denver. Minnesota trying to stay alive. Can they do it? I don't know. I think they had their opportunity and they squandered it. Rudy Gobert, yikes. But today, it's not about the NBA playoffs. It's about the NFL schedule release. It's about the 49ers. Open up the season with the Jets, Monday Night Football. Then you're going at Minnesota, at Los Angeles, taking on the Rams. Then you're at home against the Patriots, Cardinals. All right, doesn't scare you. I do think the Cardinals are going to be better this year. I do think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a problem. I think Kyler is going to be much better. That defense, Jonathan Gannon, I liked what they did last year. I think he's a up-and-coming head coach. Then you got the Seahawks. I don't know what to make of the Seahawks. I don't. That's a Thursday game. Prime Video. I don't know what to make of them. Geno Smith, they really like Sam Howell. They brought him in from Washington. They don't strike fear into your heart. They just don't. Kyler, there is still some elements there that scares me because of his legs, right? And he's got an arm. Geno, I got to see it. I do. And then October 20th at Levi's Stadium. Super Bowl rematch. Kansas City Chiefs come to town. That's the one everyone's got circled. Can Kyle Shanahan finally beat this team? Can they finally get over that hump? And then, not only do you have the Chiefs, talking about hate week this week with the Dodgers in town, and then you got the Cowboys after that. So you got both of your hated rivals, Chiefs, Cowboys, and then you got your bye week. Then you got at Tampa, which early start time was tricky, but Niners under Shanahan, I don't even worry about early start times in the East Coast anymore. There was a point when that's something you would always view. It's like, the East Coast, getting up early, But that one I don't. And then you're home against the Seahawks November 17th, week 11. And then this is the one that we mentioned. Week 12, November 24th, you're at Green Bay. It's going to be chilly there. Thanksgiving time. It's going to be chilly. And that's a late afternoon start for them. So it's going to be like a 4 o'clock East Coast start for them, which helps. And I'm assuming they're going to stay somewhere on the East Coast because the 49ers like to do that because you're at Buffalo the very next week, and that is Sunday Night Football. And that's going to be a scene. If it's snowing, can you imagine that? Oh, it'd be beautiful. Something about snow. Like, I know we're all going domes now because you want to be on an equal playing field. I get that, but there is just something about the elements that's just beautiful, especially in that sport. Baseball, I get it. It's not supposed to be. NBA, it's indoors, but football, man. Even soccer. Not snow, but like when there's like rain going on and it gets a little muddy, gets a little grimy, gets a little more physical. I like it. I do. I know it's called the beautiful game. I like an ugly game sometimes too. I do. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Great Twilight Zone episode as well. Then you got the Bears after you take on Buffalo. That's going to be at home. I can't wait to see Caleb Williams this week. The NFL, there's just so many storylines, and you're intrigued every single game. Like, I'm interested even in the worst team in the NFL. Like, the Panthers can't be that bad again, right? They can't be that awful. Right? Dave Canales coming over, offensive coordinator from the Tampa Bay Bucks, taking over as head coach. I think he's the youngest coach in the NFL now, head coach, that is. Could be wrong. But can Bryce Young, can he just look at least like that Heisman Trophy winner he was? Maybe he can't. Maybe he doesn't have enough talent around him. He's got Xavier Leggett, who we know sounds like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. He's a Carolina guy. South Carolina guy, I should say. But in Carolinas, there's north or south. I know there's difference, especially in their barbecue. I get that. But I'm interested. I'm interested in Caleb Williams. I'm interested in Bo Nix. How's he going to look? Everyone's crapping on him as that pick. What if he's good with Sean Payton? Right? Derek Carr and the Saints. What's going to happen there? I don't know. Like, this feels like kind of it for Derek Carr and for Dennis Allen. If he wants to be a starter in the NFL, they got to make the playoffs this year. Or they're going to be looking elsewhere. Cardinals, again, Kyler Murray. Chiefs, can they three-peat? Like, the NFL, and as we're just discussing all this when it comes to the schedule release, they have just got a chokehold on storylines and narratives more so than any other league. There is a player that you've been watching in college football forever that you have just been keeping track of. Every one of these teams has one. Every single one of them. Even the worst, like I just mentioned. You're interested to see if Bryce Young can look good. Because CJ Stroud might have had the greatest rookie season a quarterback's ever had. And I know Brock was great. Came in half the year. CJ missed a couple games, concussion, but from start to finish, he was incredible. I mean, for as much love as you're giving Brock for MVP consideration, CJ Stroud, as a rookie, was getting MVP consideration. As a rookie, we were having the conversations. That's incredible. Can he build off of that? What's going on with Dak and the Cowboys? Like, is this it? So again, there's just storylines and narratives galore that I can't get enough of. You can't get enough of, and we love it. And we are. We are sluts for these things. We are. That's okay. I will pay anything. Yes, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. or whatever the hell that German game's going to be on. And it's going to be Daniel Jones taking on the Carolina Panthers. I know how gross that sounds right now. But I'm interested to see what Malik Neighbors looks like. Their first round pick out of LSU. Dynamic wide receiver who's getting comps to Deebo Samuel. 510 on the Xfinity mobile text line for the San Francisco 49ers. Not a fan of 2 Thursday night games. That is true. The Niners have 2 Thursday night football games this year. 2 of them. Again, week 6, October 10th at Seattle. And maybe they're doing a little look ahead to the Chiefs the next week. Don't want to get caught doing that, but they will be a little extra rested heading into that Kansas City matchup. And then December 12th, week 15 against the Rams at home. Also Thursday night. So both your Thursday night football games against divisional opponents, which they kind of like to do there. It's tricky though. Again, that last little, and I'm not calling it a little stretch because it's a couple months. It's a month. But from November 24th all the way to that end of the season, December 30th. So basically a month there. Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions. And then you're at Arizona the last week of the year, and that's TBD still. They don't know. The last week, it's always different. Saturday, Sunday, what are they going to do? And maybe you're not playing for anything that last game. That was the case this past year. You weren't playing for anything. And you had Brock Purdy resting. You had Deebo Samuel resting. No Matt Stafford. Both teams were like, whatever. And the Niners found themselves in the Super Bowl. Rest versus rust. They looked a little rusty against the Packers. Maybe they should have lost, but they didn't. They didn't. So that stretch there at the end of the season, how is this Niners team going to look? You can give me your predictions if you want. 13-4. The Grandy man, Mark Grandy. Shout out. Overtime on 95.7 The Game. Grandy and Sterling doing a hell of a job all season long last year. Can't wait for this next season. He put his schedule prediction up on the monitor right when you walk into the producer's studio. 13-4. Of course. No adversity for the Niners this year, right? Yeah, they'll be fine. It's very difficult. I'm just going to reiterate it. It is so hard going from Super Bowl loss, trying to get back to the playoffs. And more often than not, either you don't make it, or when you do make the playoffs, it looks like what the Philadelphia Eagles looked like last year. Now, that was a special case. You lost both your offensive and defensive coordinators. There were adjustments. You started off the season pretty good, but they were hanging on. And then the wheels came off after the Niners smoked them. So, again, just be careful with predictions right now. That's all I'm going to say. I just look at travel. I look at teams. I look at expectations heading into the season, and they will shift halfway through. Listen, this Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions gauntlet that I'm talking about, it could look easy come, week 10. Or it could look even more difficult. I'm just going off, and we're all just going off what we saw last year. Jordan Love finished the season strong as hell with the Packers. So I'm looking at that game as being difficult. They added Josh Jacobs. He's a hell of a running back. Not that Aaron Jones wasn't. Josh is younger, has some injury concerns, but I think he's better overall. Just a couple years and couple seasons removed from having the number one total yardage for a running back. And then you got the Bills. We'll see. Again, I don't know with Josh Allen. I still need to see that. It's great. Talent's undeniable. Last season, I was taking Brock Purdy over him every day of the week, twice on Sunday. I'm also taking Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. The return of the king on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game.